In Avengers Endgame, if you've seen that film, and I assume you have, we all know by now that two people end up wielding the full power of the Infinity Gauntlet. First being the Hulk, and second, Tony Stark. One of these passes away, and the other one survives with a lot of damage to his body. Now we know why, and the reason this was handled in the way it was. So when it came to Hulk in Avengers Endgame, we saw what happens to him as the effects of the Infinity Gauntlet were taking a toll on him. After he does that snap, we see his arm is completely shriveled. It's kind of gross looking, actually. We don't know how much use he's going to have with that arm going forward. I assume they're going to explore that down the road, and how much mental damage and strain it might have had on the Hulk, as its entire thing was pretty much, running through his body. Like, the entire power of the Gauntlet was running wild through his body, like Hulkamania running wild during WrestleMania, right? It's just like you can't control it. So he's lucky that it was only his arm. But now the Russo brothers have a quote, and I like to talk about exactly what happened. So it's linked in the description down below, and of course on the screen, and here's what they said. We know how powerful Thanos is by his quick defeat of the Hulk in Infinity War. So, this is an incredibly painful experience to put on the gauntlet that controls the universe. It permanently damages the most powerful beings and some of the most powerful creatures in these movies. Only a very few people can actually put that on and survive. When Hulk brings everybody back with a snap using the Stark Gauntlet, they wanted Hulk to have pain, to have paid a severe price for doing it. The idea of his arm being shriveled and messed up was where they were going to go with initially, and I don't think anybody was that comfortable with the visual of him fighting with a shriveled arm. So they were trying to come up with alternatives. So if you watch Endgame, once the snap happens with the Hulk, when it falls off, you see that his arm is largely the same size, and originally obviously they wanted it to be something that was kind of shriveled away and almost going away, kind of like really skinny, but that would have looked rather awful, all things considered. So they walked that back and they went with this route. But as they say, he's one of the most powerful beings in the universe. He was able to handle it due to the fact that he is the Hulk. And if you look at Thanos, for example, that set the tone. Because when Thanos does it, we see that he gets hurt as well. We see the toll it takes on his body. But again, it doesn't kill him. It kills Tony because he's not as powerful as these two titans. The Hulk was able to use it, yes. He's not as powerful as Thanos. But then again, he wasn't exerting as much power to try to reshape the entire universe. He just brought everybody back. Thanos literally affected the entire universe by getting rid of everybody and reshaping it in the first original way. And if you compare their powers, you look at Thanos, way more powerful. You look at the Hulk, he's suddenly gotten more intelligent. Had the Hulk done this when he wasn't intelligent, when he was just kind of a mindless beast, he probably would have died as well, because he wouldn't have been able to actually think up and do exactly what was needed. So it's a pretty good quote, and finally having a good explanation of why exactly they did it and how they ended up with that visual.